What's up, Las Vegas? You know what time it is. We've got another Friday news roundup for you. Today, I'm joined by Nevada Current reporter Michael MJ Lyle and our executive producer Layla Muhammad, who will help me explain why the Smith shooting you've seen all over the news is getting so much attention, why Trump's plan to suspend the federal gas tax won't do a thing for us here in Las Vegas, and why the city is giving a bunch of Gen Zers $25K to live it up in Las Vegas. Plus, in our members-only bonus segment, we break down why Lotus of Siam's return to the commercial center is a bigger deal than you might think. And we're giving you our insider picks for the top Thai spots around town as well. It's Friday, May 15th. I'm Jesse Merrick, and here's what Las Vegas is talking about. All right, MJ, Layla, thank you guys for joining us. Normally we stay away from, the crime stories and things like that, but there's been one that happened this week that we just can't ignore. It's been all over the news. So, Layla, we'll begin with you and dive into the grocery store shooting at Smith's there. Why is this one such a big story this week?
Yeah, definitely a high-profile case of domestic violence. On Tuesday, just before noon, at Smith's on Maryland Parkway and East Silverado Ranch in the southeast part of the valley, a suspect entered the store with two guns and shot and killed Amanda and Victor Frias Rosas. The male and female victim were a married couple who also worked at the store. The suspected shooter, Alejandro Estrada, when he left, video shows a group of bystanders were able to tackle and disarm him outside of the store before Metro arrived. Estrada was an ex of Amanda, the female victim, and they broke up around 2021. They shared two children, and about 2 weeks before the shooting, the suspect told his roommate that she was taking him to court over unpaid child support. The monthly child support owed was $342. 25 minutes before the shooting, the suspect went to the home of Amanda and Victor, where police found a shattered window, ransacked master bedroom. He ripped off the video doorbell, and they also found a cartridge case in the backyard. This is based off reporting from Fox 5, KSNV, and KLAS. According to Metro crime statistics, this case actually marks the 10th and 11th homicides tied to domestic violence this year.
Jeez.
Yeah, sadly, this is something we see all too often here in Nevada, where we obviously need some work there in that area. But MJ, I'm curious, how do you wrap your head around something like this?
I mean, every time I hear a shooting story in this country, there's a part of me that goes a little bit numb because they're so often. But
sadly,
it's the domestic violence part that does not surprise me because if you look at our shootings across the country, in particular mass shootings, there has always been a domestic violence tie. So I wasn't shocked, but I was still so saddened because we're just at this place again where we're seeing just loss of life, another shooting and domestic violence at the center. You want to get numb to it, but you can't get numb to it because I don't know. It's so difficult.
It is.
I'm not surprised about the domestic violence connection, but it's saddening and disgusting to see just another incident like this. And it's just so many across the country that we are constantly seeing, and not surprised, but also equally saddened by the fact that this is our 10th and 11th domestic violence homicide of the year in Las Vegas.
Yeah. Something that surprised me in reporting from KSNV, they have someone from SafeNest quoted that our community is one of the worst for domestic violence cases in every crime category. Thinking back to another high-profile case of domestic violence in April of 2024 in Summerlin, where there was a shooting at a law firm, it also brings back to which kind of areas of the community these high-profile cases are coming from. Summerlin in the Southeast Valley near Henderson. Like I said earlier, and like MJ said, this is the 10th and 11th domestic violence case this year in our community. So it's definitely happening outside of these high-profile cases as well.
And underlines, I'm glad you pointed to Liz Ortenberger's comments on this because I remember during in 2022 when they were looking at ARPA funding, American Rescue Plan Act funding that was going around. Like she was trying to get more because we don't have robust resources for domestic violence survivors. They have this score that they have for survivors of like how much you have to get before you are considered eligible to access one of the few beds they have. Yeah.
That's
so,
crazy. A scoring system?
Yes, it is a scoring system. Like, and it's because there's so few resources available. And so I think this underscores like there isn't a lot of resources for survivors and for people that want to leave unsafe situations.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask if you guys think there's a reason why, you know, we're so poor in this area, but I guess that kind of answers it, right? It's more of a funding thing that are being poured into these resources.
Yeah, definitely investment like of expanding access to beds, even expanding access to like even mental health services too. And just across the board, like not just mental health resources for survivors, just mental health resources in particular, and just how we engage and how like we are able to articulate and give emotional intelligence to youngsters so like they're able to like not spiral and not become part of the cycle of domestic violence abusers.
Yeah, Liz Ortenberger, who the news story quoted, who's the CEO of SafeNest, she actually pointed out that Reno has more beds than Las Vegas. And I'm glad that the government up in Reno is investing in that. But the fact that they're having more beds than us when we have a bigger population is, it's saddening as a community member.
Yeah. So I guess, like, how do we actually fix this? I mean, is it a matter of fighting for more funding? Like, MJ, do you have an idea of how we can actually get this through to hopefully prevent stuff like this?
I mean, funding in general, like our state, I'm doing a lot of election coverage right now. It's been coming up in a lot of conversations about our state's revenue structure and tax structures. Like, we are not in a good place to offset a lot of federal cuts because we rely so heavily on federal dollars just because of our tax structures. And so just generally speaking, we're not able to do robust action on mental health, on housing, on domestic violence resources because we don't have enough of a steady tax structure to actually kind of fund the solutions that we need. The solutions are known. The solutions for so many of our problems, from climate to housing to domestic violence, to mental health and addiction, like we know what works, but it's just we don't have the funding and we don't have, at times, the political will from leaders to do what's right to get the funding and make sure the funding is going to the right place.
I think when stuff like this happens, I always think, okay, like how can we treat the root cause? And like we said, domestic violence is where this one is rooted in. So again, like providing more resources to those services to potentially prevent something like this. But again, do really want to shout out to the Good Samaritans who stepped in. It sounded like he was ready to do some more damage, even though he was very clearly targeting them. You know, he had the backpack full of more weapons and all that stuff. And they said he thought he was heading towards like a KFC or something. I just like, thank God they stepped in. And you just feel so horrible for, you know, the kids involved in this. When I was reading up and listening to the news on this, the son's birthday was the day that his mother was killed. And then the daughter's birthday was the next day. It's just like, it's horrible. You feel for the families involved and everything. And you just hope that something, comes from this and maybe some change can happen to prevent things like this happening in the future.
One resource I wanted to throw out, we've been talking about the CEO of SafeNest, Liz Ortenberger. SafeNest is for victims, and if you feel like you're getting violent yourself, they actually have resources for potential abusers and before you get to that point. So I suggest knowing SafeNest and getting familiar with them in case you need to recommend them to anybody in the community.
Yeah, definitely a great way to go about doing it. Zenleaf Las Vegas is celebrating its 10-year anniversary with All In at 10 and 10 straight days of daily themed deals, in-store activations, and vendor pop-ups across all locations in Las Vegas. Visit Zenleaf Las Vegas between May 21st and May 30th to join the All In at 10 celebration. Customers can enjoy exclusive promotions and expect new surprises throughout. Plus, a portion of the proceeds from each day will support one of 10 local nonprofits and give back to the community as well. In-store shoppers can also pick up the 10-year anniversary playbook, which is a limited edition keepsake that unlocks rewards and prizes through purchases and activations. Zenleaf's Flamingo and Fort Apache locations offer deli-style flour, allowing customers to see and smell before it's weighed fresh. Drive-thru pickup is available at Flamingo and Fort Apache, while North Las Vegas customers can take advantage of delivery directly from the Zenleaf team. And CityCast Las Vegas listeners can also unlock special in-store savings when they mention us or the newsletter. Zenleaf continues to make cannabis shopping approachable, engaging, and convenient for both new and experienced customers. Search Zenleaf Las Vegas online to find your nearest location and browse deals ahead of your visit.
Step into the movies with the Neon Museum's new movie tour in the heart of Las Vegas. Take a guided walk through real neon backdrops that have actually appeared in some of Hollywood's most memorable scenes over the decades. Your tour starts in the iconic La Concha Motel lobby, which is now the Neon Museum's visitor center, and a key setting in Scorsese's film Casino. Stand where Robert De Niro and Sharon Stone filmed their romantic evening as Ace and Ginger, and then wander the world-famous neon boneyard surrounded by vintage marquees and historic signs. Plus, you'll connect neon landmarks to films like Casablanca, Superman, and The Joe Louis Story. Relive the comedy of Vegas Vacation as you walk among signs tied to Chevy Chase's classic. You'll hear insider stories and fun trivia that bring these movie moments to life and capture unforgettable photos. So join fellow cinephiles on a one-of-a-kind tour that turns the Neon Museum into your own movie set. Check out the Neon Museum's new movie tour and discover how Las Vegas earned its reputation as the entertainment capital of the world through film.
Now, there's no easy transition to our next topic here today, but we're talking about the gas tax and the fact that Trump wants to stop it, which sounds great to save people money, but for us here in Las Vegas, MJ, it wouldn't actually solve anything, right?
That is correct. So yeah, just in case you have missed the headline news, President Trump announced that he wants to suspend the federal gas tax, something that he would actually need congressional authority to do. But again, that hasn't stopped him with a war, but I digress. The federal gas tax, if you don't know, it's about 18.4% per gallon, and it goes to fund the Highway Trust Fund, which pays for and supports road repairs, maintenance, highway construction, expansion, stuff like that. Suspending it, Trump argues, will give a little bit of reprieve at the pump, which if you are driving, you have seen our prices have gone up so much in the last year.
I just went to California recently, and it's like almost $7 a gallon. Oof. I was like, good God, at least we're not California.
My condolences to your wallet. And
it was crazy. Expensive.
But yeah, so the idea was to have a little bit of reprieve. Before we get into like the logistics of the reprieve, here in Nevada, that actually might not even come because lawmakers passed in 1997 legislation that would actually automatically replace all that revenue to fill in the gap and keep the prices the same to make sure that we're funding infrastructure costs. And so we might even not receive that reprieve if Congress authorizes this federal gas holiday, which Republicans, even though they're signing on now, they've been opposed to this idea in the past. But again, even nationally, if it goes through, one economist told MS Now, or Miss Now as I like to call her, the gas holiday would essentially only save about 60 cents total per trip to the pump. So it's in the long haul, not. But it would deprive the Highway Trust Fund of needed dollars. Right now, like the Highway Trust Fund as it operates it has not been sustainable for a very long time. And there's been long-standing calls to reform that. And so if this gas tax that Trump wants is congressionally approved, again, it needs congressional approval, it would save a few cents for people, which yes, every cent counts right now, but in the long haul, it could hurt us and what we need and the funding that we actually rely on for our road and maintenance repairs. So
just to clarify, MJ, so the federal gas tax, if that goes away, the one in Nevada kicks in automatically?
So yeah, it will like fill in the gap essentially of what that little bit that goes away. It's just to kind of, because we rely also on the gas tax to fund our local roads and transit and all that stuff. And so it kicks in to kind of make up the loss of the federal gas tax. And so.
Well, and this recently just got extended till 2036, right? Back in November, I believe it was.
Oh, you're correct. The county commissioners, because RTC was worried that they're actually becoming the red in the next few years. So the county did extend the Fuel Revenue Index program, which was set to expire this year. The extended inflation-adjusted gas tax would actually help kind of seal some of the budget of the RTC, which is looking at going into the red. But again, this idea at the federal level of extending the gas tax, again, it has to be congressionally approved. And even if it does, Nevada, we're still going to be seeing really high gas prices for the time being.
Yeah. Well, and I think to MJ, like quality reporting by you back in November when all this got extended, because this is where I learned a lot of this information from. Like you said, to save 60 cents would be great each time you visit the pump. But in the grand scheme of things, personally, I do think it's probably worth it to keep it, because then that allows us to access a lot of federal funding, right? So like had we dropped this and gotten rid of it, we'd be struggling and be missing out on a lot of different funding too.
Yes. Again, it's going to road repairs. And so down the long haul of 60 cents at the pump down the long haul to like what you need to actually drive good roads, working roads, like,
which will save you gas in turn, you know?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there an option on the table though for a temporary suspension? Like, we don't have to get rid of it fully, but while prices are up $5 a gallon, is there even talk of temporarily suspending it just to give us some relief while gas prices are this high?
That's a good question. And I don't know this. Again, this will go back to whatever comes out of Congress and what they propose and whether it would be a temporary suspension, which is what I would imagine, like a temporary reprieve versus a long-term reprieve. So I think that question starting to come back, instead of saying, how do we reprieve momentarily at the gas pump? The question is starting to become, how do we actually kind of exit our need and reliance on gas in the first place, which is costly. And when we get into situations like this, where we're so reliant on a global market, is the question whether, like, how do we make it easier at the pump for a few cents, or how do we actually have a long-term sustainability, which is why some people are pushing towards electric vehicles and other sustainable or investment in mass transit, like light rail, like other sustainable issues that actually moves people in a more efficient and environmentally sustainable way.
Yeah. It feels like there's no good answer here, because on the other hand, I'm seeing that electric vehicles are one of the reasons why our state highway system is like money isn't funneling into there, because electric vehicles aren't using as much gas and paying that gas tax. So I don't know. It feels like a lose-lose situation.
That is a whole nother thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough thing to wrap your head around.
There's been a lot of calls to reform the Highway Trust Fund in general and how it's funding. But again, like, everyone wants to point and blame electric vehicles, but this is a bigger issue than of like how we are funding. Again, everything goes back to funding and how we structure things, and how we how we invest in our community and in our people. So
on top of that, too, I mean, we get 88% of our fuel from California refineries, too. So, I mean, maybe there's a way to kind of bring more of that home. How? I have no idea. It's out of above my pay grade, all of ours, I think, but hopefully they figure it out. So I guess grand scheme of all of this is like, aside from buying an electric vehicle, how do you guys save when you can? How do you guys recoup that 60 cents to offset this?
I have not been good at saving right now. For like a small window, I think in like April, when it was like there are a few good days, like maybe I would walk a little bit more because I have a convenience of like a 7-minute walk to like a coffee shop or a 7-Eleven or even like a small local market. And so that was really accessible for me, that I didn't need to get in the car, but that's out the window right now for me personally, because I am a princess, and when it gets to this, I don't want to walk in it.
Fair.
I get it.
I feel like anecdotally, I've been seeing more people walking in the evening and early in the mornings when temperatures don't get too bad. I've just been seeing like people with groceries walking on the sidewalk. And I'm like, I feel like I don't see that usually.
Hey, you'll save on a gym membership too, you know?
Yeah, exactly. There you go. But for a hot tip, I think Sinclair gas stations have, at least where I live in Henderson, tend to have the cheapest gas if you don't have like a Smith's card or a Costco card.
Costco in the house.
Yeah, Costco, you get cash back, but not a plug for Costco. But Sinclair has been my favorite gas stations. If I'm looking for one out and about, I usually stop there. There's also like, I have a trick when I'm driving of like not pressing down on the gas pedal consistently to save gas. Like I can't explain it too well, but like I get to the speed that I want to be at and then I cruise. I don't know, but my sisters, everybody has told me that when I drive, it tends to save more gas. So check into that, guys. Yeah.
Take notes from Layla on how to drive. We need less lead foots, I guess.
Layla, drive for us all. Just kidding.
There you go. That's how we're going to save money.
I'm going to get the mass transportation in Las Vegas going, guys.
Yeah. For me, like I said, I'm a Costco member. Like that's how I save. And I have no problem sitting in line, for that gas. And that's where I played that game of like, okay, well, how much do I make an hour? And is it worth the actual savings by sitting here for almost an hour sometimes? So I try and time it right. But also too, hot tip, if you are from California or know people that shop at Vons, or I don't know what other, groups are in this mix here, but I steal my points from my mom at Chevron by punching in her phone number, and that drops it down. So hopefully mom's not listening, although she has gotten mad at me before when I've stolen the points from her. I'll get text messages.
Exactly. We talk about like 60 cents every time you go to the gas station isn't a lot. But if you get that like 16 cents per gallon savings on the gas station screen, you're going to click yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, any savings, especially now when gas is, I think Las Vegas has one of the highest gas prices in the nation. Especially now, a few cents every time you visit the pump. I mean, I feel it.
All right, let's keep it moving now. This is an interesting one, okay? The LVCVA is at it again. Get this. They're giving 4 Gen Z content creators $25K to just go buck wild in Vegas for 10 days, showing off the city's biggest resorts and experiences. The idea behind it is to let the younger creators show off Las Vegas kind of through their own lens. They're calling it the Summer Intern House. And for anybody listening, if you fit into this category and you want to apply, you actually have until May 31st to do so. You just have to post a video on social media answering the question, why should you be our summer intern, and tag Vegas as well in that, and then use the hashtag VegasIntern26. I got triggered because I'm like, wait, why Gen Z? As a millennial, I'm like, why the hell am I being excluded?
You want to get in on the summer intern house.
Do you want to be a summer intern?
Look, if you will pay me to go crazy on the strip, I'm the king of like, I'll gamble as long as it ain't my money, So if you're going to give me $25K to do it, I would do it. But my thing is, when you see this, the first thing that came to mind for me, like, okay, is this their answer to all the other influencers out there that have come to town and be like, Vegas is dead, the strip is empty, like all that stuff. That's what I thought was going on here.
Yeah, I think it definitely can, especially targeting Gen Z, who is using social media the most and might be, at least in a few years. I think millennial influencers definitely hold a lot of power on the internet still, but I think in a few years, Gen Z influencers and content creators are definitely going to start turning the tide and setting more of the trends. Maybe it is a way of them responding to negative reporting online about Vegas is dead and trying to change it. I don't know. I'm skeptical about like labeling it the summer intern house.
There's a tax write-off in there somewhere. That's why.
Yeah, but also,
I'm like, are you trying to do like a virtual real world? That's like,
that's what it feels like, right?
There's also been like negative things to come out about these like TikTok and influencer houses that we see online. So that's the framing of it kind of gives me a bad vibe, but I don't know. I think I can't say if it's going to work or not until I see these videos.
I guess my question is, how do these videos work when there's so many like hidden fees or tacked on fees and like some of these resort pricing that people are upset about? How do these influencers come into play when people don't want to travel, especially out of country because of either as a response to tariffs or immigration policies and concern about traveling? So how does like an influencer campaign saying, Vegas is great, look at me, a 25-year-old outside the Bellagio fountains, like how does that like contrast all these outside influences that are really impacting the fact that people's travel in general, let alone travel to Vegas?
Yeah, and I think that's a good point, MJ, and brings the question to my mind of like, do we think this will work, or where does this rank on the LVCVA's tactics? Because to me, again, like you said, it screams, hey, you need 25K to enjoy Vegas for 10 days.
Yeah.
And does Gen Z have that?
If they do, I want to know what the heck they're doing.
Yeah, do these like
TikTok dances. Just kidding.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great point, MJ. Like, if they can get a viral video out of these Gen Z content creators, can the viral video outshine or overpower the narrative that is online about Vegas being overpriced and not being a good value? I don't know. Like, I'd love to see what the Gen Z content creators are how they're, if they are going to address that, where they're going to go in Las Vegas to show value. But I think it's, in my opinion, better than the Welcome to Fabulous ad, worse than the fireworks. That's where it ranks on the marketing scale.
Yeah, the fireworks is wild. Well, also too, and like I love the Las Vegas Aces, but they gave each of them $100K, to like put on for the city. Again, love them all. They were my favorite team, one of them to cover when I worked in TV news out here. But that was just a wild thing where it's like, wait, what? You're giving them $100K to just be like ambassadors for the city? Like, it's
and where did that go?
And it's weird because I guess I live here, and so like I'm not influenced, and I see that stuff. But I'm trying to think about when I see influencers from other cities like going to restaurants. Like I'm trying to think what actually makes me want to go there. Like it's just the food in general, but I don't know if like I look at my budget, I'm like, I guess I'm gonna book a ticket and like go and try this amazing like tostado. Like I don't know, like.
I will say there's been a great organic, at least I think it's organic, social media like push around Golden Boy Sandwich Shop in Henderson. My friend from Texas sent me a video and they were like, have you been to this sandwich shop? And since then, I've been seeing a lot of videos on Instagram, and my friend from Texas is like, I gotta come and try that sandwich shop. So maybe, I don't know, maybe videos like that showing great food spots in Vegas, that gets people to buy a ticket and come.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I wonder too, maybe maybe there's a ripple effect. That maybe it'll, I don't know if like hurt the strip is the right word, but it'll help, maybe some more of the local restaurants off strip as people try and venture away from that. I think that would be cool. If there's an impact, locally away from the strip and in small businesses like that. I think.
But are they targeting that? Are they going to target?
No, they're definitely
local?
not. Yeah. So I'm very interested. Like I can't wait to see the numbers after all of this. But the big question now, guys, is if you were one of the interns, what are you doing to show off Vegas to get people here with $25K for 10 days, which also is an aside, 10 days, if you're visiting, that's a long ass time in Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, and this is something that might be like, this is overrated, but I think we should promote jumping off the stratosphere more. That kind of went away. I remember when I was a kid, I couldn't wait to get older and jump off the stratosphere. But
you're crazier than I thought, Layla.
Wow.
I mean, I love a trip. I love the adrenaline rush, I guess. But like as I got older, it kind of got like, oh, is that still a thing? Is that still open? Is that still up there? I think stuff like that and showing like the excitement in Vegas, you're only going to get this here. Like I said, I'm like more in the local mind of like showing great local food spots. But if you're targeting the strip in downtown, I think exciting things like that and jumping off the stratosphere and doing that kind of thing would be fun.
I guess the things that I've enjoyed most when I've seen Vegas is like how like Padma Lakshmi's episode of Taste the Nation of Vegas was so beautiful and like really focused on Thai. And so I guess my approach would be a little bit hyper local too. And so it wouldn't be, I guess I would really screw over my contract with them and like be terrible because like I would want to be hyper local and focus on like not just the strip and like these stories outside of the strip and like showing like hyper local people and how they've like created beautiful dishes and a beautiful culture as part of like counter Vegas. And so I think that has some draw. Like again, like you think about like Padma Lakshmi, Anthony Bourdain and their portrayals of Vegas, like it's way more nuanced and beautiful than like these like strip TikTok-y videos, I think. So I think that's the approach that I would want to go.
Yeah, showing the actual culture.
You. Yeah, I agree because that's where my mind went initially was like, I'm going to Anthony Bourdain the hell out of this for 25K, Like I'm going to show off everything Vegas has to offer from like the high aspect of it to the low aspect of it. Of like where you can hitting up the dive bars. I love when he went to the Huntridge Tavern and everything when he was here. So I'd be showing off a lot more of that stuff. And also too, just because I'm an outdoorsy guy, like I'd show people, I call it like the other Las Vegas, explain to them what else we have to offer in terms of outdoor activities and things like that. And if it were, again, I know it's a summer internship, but if it were during the winter, I'd be showing people that you can go to Lee Canyon and snowboard, So I'd be doing all of that type of stuff. And I think I would try and do, like I said, like the high-low of like find the most expensive meal you possibly can. And maybe that would make me burn through the 25K really fast, maybe one night, I don't know. But then find like the low version of it, but also to show off like the chefs and things like that. Because I think we have such a cool history and like string of stories where it's like chefs that had worked on the Strip were tired of everything that came with the Strip and opened their own spots off Strip. And at the end of the day, people love a good story. So maybe that would draw people in.
Yes, I agree.
I think so.
So if you're listening, influencers, here you go. Summer influencers.
Take notes. Just bring us with you to the restaurants and all the experiences. That's all we ask.
Hit us up, CityCast Las Vegas. Let us know.
Yeah. Today, we've got a bonus segment reserved just for our CityCast Las Vegas neighbors where we dive into Lotus of Siam's return to their original location. And we've got our insider tips as well on the top Thai spots around town, too. So if you don't want to miss this one, head to membership.citycast.fm/Las Vegas to sign up. All right, so that's going to do it for today. Obviously, we cast a wide net in this one. So Layla, MJ, thank you so much. This was fun.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jesse.
That's all for today here on CityCast Las Vegas. Our executive producer is Layla Muhammad. Our creative producer, Jacob Solis. Our newsletter editor is Rob Katcheries. And I'm your host, Jesse Merrick. Music is by OG Moose, Epidemic Sound, and All the Kimonos. We record this show on the traditional homelands of the Nuuvi, the Southern Paiute people. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell a friend, rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our free morning newsletter too. And don't forget, you can support this show and get great perks by becoming a CityCast Las Vegas neighbor at membership.citycast.fm/Las Vegas. Before we go, we'd like to thank our new neighbors, Brenda H., LaKenya L., Joseph L., and John F. Shout out to all of you for signing up. We appreciate you. We'll be back Monday morning with more news from around the city. Until then, though, take care and have a great weekend.